is where the fun begins.
So the first article we're gonna go over is this one about
Yeah.
celebration. But before we talk about it, I know you were at Anaheim. Now,
Yes.
was that your first celebration, or how many have you been to?
I've actually only been to two, and 2019 Chicago was my first one. So
Oh,
I've been to
nice.
2019 in Chicago, and last year 2022 in Anaheim.
And out of those two, which one did you enjoy more? Did you go? Well, did you go all 5 days in Chicago and all 4 days in Anaheim?
I did. I did actually. So Chicago, I was fortunate enough back then. One of my best friends lives there, so I saved, by crashing with him, and I
Oh, that's
I didn't
awesome.
pay for a hotel, so that's how I
Yeah,
was able to basically afford, being there all 5 days.
yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I spent a little bit more than I should have, out on the
Oh,
stores,
of
but
course.
it
It's
happens.
celebration. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Of course.
Uh, and so I thoroughly enjoyed 2019. It was my first time. Um, I met a lot of people, that I'm still in contact with to this day. It was just a shock to the senses, man. Like it's
Yeah.
everything was going on at once. Like I missed out on so much stuff that I would later see, on YouTube or channels. Like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, this was my like Chicago experience and stuff. I'm like, when did that happen? Like when was that
Yep.
panel? Or when was that like cosplay show happening? Or when was all of that stuff too? Because there's just so much going on like at any given point.
So much.
And and everything is awesome, right? So you want to do it all and you want to see it all, but obviously you can't.
Yep.
So and me, I was an amateur, dude. Like I did a little bit of research before going, but again, I don't think anything really prepares you to being there like on the floor with a few thousand of your peers, that and everybody's just
Yeah.
loving Star Wars, right? Like it's quite the experience. So like I said, I remember very fondly 2019. However, 2022 has one of my favorite moments, in my fandom life.
I know what
Because
it is too. I already know what
yeah,
you're gonna say. Go ahead.
exactly. But so to the surprise of nobody, uh, I made it into the premiere of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, the red carpet event. Let's just say I
Yes.
wasn't necessarily supposed to be there, but I was okay, and it was crazy. It was like an awesome experience.
I get goosebumps just thinking about that. Like,
Yeah,
because I remember I heard you telling somebody the story of how you got in, how you kept talking to
yeah,
people to get in, you couldn't
yeah.
in, and then you saw the YouTubers come up and they got in, and then you just kept on and you got in.
I did.
So and it's because you were supposed to go to that panel earlier, but you didn't go, right? So you never got the gold wristband.
Well, truth be told, I never got the lottery. I didn't win the lottery for that first
Oh,
panel, and
okay.
so
You just finessed your
and
way in,
so
which is
yeah,
amazing.
exactly. So again, one of my buddies that I've met through the community, he was already in. He got into the initial panel, the one in the morning. So
Yeah,
he already had his how do you call it, his wristband, right?
yeah, the gold
uh
wristband.
yeah. And then I was like, hey man, like I totally missed out on like I said, on the initial panel. And then therefore like I didn't get a wristband to go into the premiere at night. And so I'm texting him. He's like, no man, he's like, just let him, like, just tell him, let him know that all of us are in here, and stuff. I'm like, man, they're turning everybody down, right?
Yeah.
So I, like I said, I've told this story before, but I'm pretty sure I was right next to Carly King,
Yeah. Yep.
from YouTube. And she didn't have a wristband either because she was trying, she was almost crying to go in. And all of a sudden, like, she literally goes away and like comes back not even like a minute later, and she has a wristband on her. And so the
Magic.
guy just goes, yeah, go ahead. And I was like, what just happened? I was like, like what? Like, wait, like, take me with you. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, no, like I have to go in. Like I don't know how I'm gonna do it. But anyway, so long story short, my buddy sent me his QR code from the morning, right?
Yep.
From the morning panel. And he's like, just say that you didn't make it, but you were supposed to be there and stuff. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. And sure enough, so many people were trying to get in that I think the Lucasfilm guy, at the how do you call it, at the
The
like at
entrance.
the barrier, yeah, like
Yeah.
was just like, you know what, like you. And I was like, here, like I had the QR and stuff. He's like, all right, whatever, like come in. And I was like, yes.
Oh
And I
yeah.
just I just like sprinted through through the red carpet because they were already shutting the doors, to start the actual
Yeah.
show. Um, so yeah, man, and I mean, it was just electric, right? To be there,
Oh,
it was crazy. I mean, Ewan McGregor comes on. I mean, come on, like that.
bro, we got in early, so we were sitting in the front row. So we were
Oh,
the very front, and he comes out with Deborah Chow, and I'm like, yo,
yes,
he's right
exactly.
there.
Yeah.
We watched both episodes, and then everybody else comes out at the end. But
Yes.
I think that was awesome. I think my favorite part though was at the end of the second episode when Kenobi senses Vader and he says Anakin, and then it cuts to him in the back of the tank, and the whole stadium went nuts, bro. I like
Yes.
that. That energy like is unmatched. And that's
Exactly.
like celebration in a nutshell. That vibe, that energy from that one
Absolutely.
moment is how you feel every day
That's
there,
it. Yeah, that's what I was
which
gonna
is
say.
crazy.
So for anybody listening, if you're just like on the fence about ever going to a celebration,
Oh,
do it.
go.
Okay, I'm telling you, just go. All right, without breaking the bank or putting yourself into financial distress. But go, guys. Seriously, like what we were talking about here. These experiences. Uh, it made sound to you that we're exaggerating. We're really not. Okay,
No,
it's just
no.
the experience of being in the room with like I said, with a few hundred or thousand even people
Thousands.
that love this stuff just as much as you do. Some of them even more. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Oh
that's
yeah,
when I
yeah,
had
yeah.
a little bit of like, whoa, like this dude knows his stuff. Like I met a couple of people that were like, oh, like I thought I was a Star Wars geek, and you just left me in the dust.
Yep.
Uh, and so it's an incredible experience. And like I said, so I have very fond memories of the overall event in 2019, right? Because it was my first one. And
Hmm.
but that one night on the Obi-Wan Kenobi premiere, like that's like I said, that's
Oh
probably one of my fondest memories,
yeah.
of being a Star Wars fan just in general, honestly.
No, yeah, for sure. And like this is celebration is the reason I started my channel. Like the reason I'm here on
Yeah,
YouTube and made my channel was to cover and show people what celebration is, how it works. Because a lot of people are hardcore Star Wars fans, but they've never been or even heard of celebration.
exactly.
So yeah, so that's why I try to bring like as much knowledge as possible. And like you
Yeah,
said about not breaking the bank, like I've been to 3 celebrations. My first two, I didn't do any autographs, any photo ops, time of
yeah,
my life. So it's not
yes,
like you have to buy these expensive things to have fun.
you really
You
don't.
could just go there, get all the free stuff, see everything, and
Yeah,
like all that stuff's free. You don't have to like splurge. So
yeah.
um
So I mean, I like you said, I did a little bit of research because, like you just mentioned, I've been a Star Wars guy for most of my life, right? But I've never been to a celebration. I've heard about them and things like that, but I never really researched it, right? So when
yeah.
2019 was coming along, and I was like, you know what, I'm going. Like, it's gonna happen, right? Like that's it. Gonna be my first celebration. I started looking into YouTube, right, and people doing videos much like your own of just saying, hey
Yep.
guys, there's gonna be lines, there's gonna be this, you are gonna miss stuff, like you cannot see everything, right?
Yep.
Because there's panels that overlap, right? They happen at the same time. So everybody's saying, hey, try to plan it out what you're really interested in, and have backups because you might not make
Yep.
it in, and things like that.
100%.
Now, mind you, 2019 I think was the first time that they put that lottery system, right, for the bigger panels.
Yeah, because
um
Orlando 2017, they were camping out overnight for
exactly,
wristbands for the panel. So the
right.
lotto started there.
Yeah. And so 2019 they did it online, right, based on your badge number.
Yep.
And so that changed up things, right? Because like I said, all of the people that I was seeing their videos about celebration, they're like, yeah, like be prepared to not sleep a couple nights because you're gonna be
Yeah.
like standing in the line like for whatever big panel you want to see. And it didn't happen like that, obviously. But yeah, so me personally, I appreciate your channel quite a bit, man, because
Thank you.
like I
Thank
said,
you.
there's actually not a whole lot of people that cover these big events. And it can be daunting, if this is your first
Yeah.
time. Like, man, you can, like I said, you can miss a lot of stuff. You can end up spending a lot of money that maybe you shouldn't, or you didn't necessarily have to, right?
Yep.
If you plan it out right. So like I said, I really appreciate your channel, your content, because I know that it's helping a lot of people that again might be on the fence about going to celebration, and once they see you sort of break down like how it actually goes and what you actually need to go there,
Yep.
that'd be like, that's great help.
No, for sure. And I've had every day, I'm getting comments, messages, emails from random people just asking questions about it. So, like, I'll have like one day on Twitter, some guy messaged me, some little kid from Spain was going, and I'm
Yeah,
talking to this one guy that's in Scotland all the time that's going, and
nice.
another guy from Ireland, and people in London I'm talking to. And
Yeah,
then uh talking to this guy out in Vegas that's going. So I'm just meeting all these
yeah,
people that I'm gonna run into there, which is gonna be
exactly.
great. But
Yeah.
they all have these questions in it, and I love answering it because like I've been through it. So like it's fun to me, and just to kind of give them that
Oh
heads
yeah,
up to make them feel better. So
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
I can't wait to get out there and just start dropping those videos, man. It's gonna be wild.
Dude, I've told you before, and I'm not jealous at all that you're going, but dude, I'm gonna be living through you, so I'm gonna be
Yeah.
tuning in every day, so
Oh
can't
yeah.
wait.
So this article dropped, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
5 reasons to go to Star Wars Celebration for the first time, which we already covered more than five just now.
Yeah, I was gonna say we sort of might have gone to 20, but yeah.
Yeah. But the biggest thing from this article where everyone on the internet was like, oh my God, is it
Yep.
confirms the next celebration isn't until 2025, which for me, I'm kind of relieved because I need to breathe financially because
Yeah. Oh yeah.
going from Anaheim to London, and then if there was one next year,
Yeah.
oh man. So it's kind of cool that there's that year break. And then everyone, all my friends that want to go that have never been, I let them know, hey, it's going to be 2025. Start saving now. That way, when the time comes,
Exactly.
you could splurge like a king because it's
Yes,
gonna
exactly.
be a lot of big things at that one because it'll be the
Oh
20th of
man.
Revenge of the Sith. It's the
Yep.
10 year for the Force Awakens too, which I forgot.
Which I was gonna say, I was talking to about this exactly last night, and when I
Yeah.
said, "Oh, I think it's the 10th anniversary of Force Awakens," and it just hit me, bro. I was like, "Whoa, like 10 years? Like,
Yep.
are you kidding me? Like, that's insane to me. Like, it's still just a couple years away, like in my mind, but I'm like 10 freaking years
Yeah.
already. Like, wow."
Yep. So the five things it talks about here is you could be in a room for all new reveals and see them before anyone else. So like trailers, like show announcements, movie announcements, which is true.
Oh yeah,
And then you can celebrate anything and everything Star Wars, which we talked about, like for sure.
yeah.
It's all Star Wars fans, which is,
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's another plus. Like I went to New York Comic Con this past year for the first time, and it was
Oh nice.
fun, but
Yeah.
it's like a big mix of everything. It's
Oh
kind of
yeah.
nice
Of
when it's
course.
all Star Wars fans because then
Yeah.
it's like you connect with everybody. But like the
Exactly.
New York Comic Con, I mean, some of the stuff I'm like, I have no idea who you're dressed up as. Like, I can't like
Sure.
vibe with,
Yeah.
I can't connect with them. But
Yeah.
in Celebration, it's like, oh, I know who you are. Like, you're definitely somebody I know. The guest list, which the guest lists lately have been fire. Anaheim was
Oof.
fire. London got insane, man.
Yeah.
So
London. They're. Oh man. Yeah. I if I was
yeah,
going, I would have dropped so much money, dude. Like already.
yeah. London has already kind of broken me. So
Yeah.
I got this morning. I got the dual photo op for
I
Hayden
saw
and
that.
Ewan, which I think this is the
Flex.
first time they've ever done it together. I can't
Yeah.
find any other pictures where they've done it at a convention before, like
No.
nowhere. And then this Monday is the last guest announcement. I kind of hope it's Mark Hamill, but I'm terrified
Oh,
at the
dude.
same time because it's
Yes,
gonna
I
be
was gonna
so
say.
expensive.
Yeah.
But like, bro, it's Mark
But it's
Hamill,
Mark
man.
Hamill,
Like,
dude.
I'll have to figure it out.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, there's loans, there's credit cards, there's extra
Oh yeah,
kidneys.
I'll
Don't worry
figure it
about it.
out. Yeah.
uh, but that was my not, I wouldn't say mistake. It was just my the thing that made me hold out on buying a lot of the autographs or photo ops last year
Mhm.
for Anaheim was that I kept holding out for Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm not gonna buy this guy because I want Mark Hamill and he's gonna be expensive, like you said. But
Yeah.
I was like, I have to. Like, there's just no question about it. I have to do it. Whatever it costs, I'll figure it out. But and so I kept waiting, and some of them sold out, and some of
Oh
them
yeah.
were like, uh, yeah, basically selling out, whether it be autograph or photo ops. And then Mark Hamill tweets, right? It's like, hey guys, sorry, not gonna make it. I'm actually
Yeah.
working. And I was like, dang it. So I missed out, and I think I've told you this story, but I missed out on the Ewan McGregor photo op. It sold out.
In 20
So
less than 24 hours, I remember.
yeah, so I didn't buy it. I bought the autograph, which is the episode 1 on the card back there, the Black Series.
Nice,
That's what I
nice.
got. That's what I got signed. But I was like, obviously I want a picture with him. But I was like, you know what? Let me wait, because that's another $300. And what if Mark Hamill,
Yeah.
comes out and stuff? And then Ewan McGregor sold out, like you said, within a day. And then I was like, dang it, man. I was like, okay, well, I really hope that Mark Hamill comes out, because if not, and sure enough, he didn't. Again, I was lucky enough that through somebody that I've met in the community, he had a photo op and he was on by himself. So he was like, jump in, man. Like, come on in with me, and
Ooh.
we'll both take a picture. I was like, dude, I could kiss you right now, but I don't go that way, but I could. And so and that's how I got to meet, Ewan McGregor for a photo op. Again, just thank
Nice.
through the community. But otherwise, I would have missed out, because I was holding on. I was holding out to try to get Mark Hamill. So I really hope for you that it happens, because that to me is like the grail right there.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so and so I'm hopeful, right, that he's still gonna be around and still gonna be willing to do it in a couple of years, right, for the next celebration, because I don't know that he does many, conventions at all. So I don't know that we will have another opportunity that's not celebration, to catch him.
Yeah, I know Anaheim was his first. So that was his first convention, his first celebration ever for Hewan,
Yeah,
which is wild. But I have a feeling 2024, maybe he'll take that year off and just relax and just do whatever famous people do. But for 2025, like he has to come for
I would
that.
think
The
so.
Revenge of the Sith panel, like
Yeah,
him and Hayden on stage talking about memories of recording that. So there'll probably be a good chance to do that again there. But I have their dual photo op on Sunday there, and Saturday I have a single photo with Hewan because I made a
nice.
T-shirt, and the T-shirt that I have made has the photo op that we took in Anaheim on it. So
Oh, perfect.
I want to see his
Yes,
facial reaction when I walk
of
up and I'm
course.
wearing the shirt from his
Yes,
first celebration.
I
Be
love
like, you
that. Yeah,
remember this? Yeah. So
exactly. Yeah.
that moment should be priceless
Oh
to
yeah,
see his
dude.
reaction.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna be a blast. And I mean, I don't have to tell you, you've met him, but the dude is so nice too, man. Like,
oh
it's kind of crazy.
yes, yes. And then the last thing was it's for everyone, which I
Right.
like that part too, because regardless
Yeah.
if you love OG trilogy, if you love sequel trilogy, if you love prequels, if you love animated expanded universe, like everyone just vibes together. And it's
Oh
like a
yeah.
good time no matter like what you like and appreciate, and everybody's respectful. So that's
Yeah,
my favorite part,
absolutely.
man.
And like you said, everybody's got a, even their own little like dedicated area, man. Like if you're into the cosplay, there's some like cosplay workshops, right? If you're
Oh
into the
yeah,
board games, there's a board game area where you can just sit down with other people and just play like all day if you
all
want.
day. Yep.
There's video games, there's Legos, there's everything, guys. Like pretty much anything that you can think of that Star Wars is represented in, it'll be there, like in force. So you got the droid builders, of course, you got the 501st, all of that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Um, so what we were talking about earlier, you really don't have to spend a whole lot of money, to enjoy celebration.
Yeah.
All of the panels, first of all of the panels are free, right? The big
Yep.
Lucasfilm panels, the paying is to get in, right? To get into the lottery or to
Yep.
win the lottery, right? But there's a lot of other panels presented by, whether it be other collectors or whether it be guys that were adjacent to the movies, some of the prop makers, all of that stuff. There's plenty of panels that you can just go right into. You don't have to have a special ticket or anything, and they're all of them are always a blast. Like all of them are always a wealth of information. You get to meet new people, all of that stuff, and that doesn't
Yep.
cost you either. So like Tony was saying, you can go grab the freebies, grab the free
Oh, it's a
stuff that's
lot.
around. Yeah,
It's a
which is a
lot of
lot.
free stuff.
Like you will fill up your suitcase just with that. Like,
Yeah.
and just go into the event, right? You don't really have to buy anything. Well, maybe some food and water eventually, but
Yeah.
aside from that, like you really don't have to spend a whole lot of money.
Yeah. So, and like you said with the panels, most of them you could just walk into. The only panel
Yeah,
that's difficult is that one major each day, but the rest you just stroll in. So
you just
one panel I missed, and I regret it afterwards. They had a Tales of the Jedi panel that Dave Filoni hosted at Anaheim. Did you go to that one or no?
yeah.
Bro,
That was actually the only one that I got into like officially.
and you guys got to watch the first episode, right?
Yeah, yeah, we did.
See,
Yeah,
I heard about that after, and I was so pissed
yeah.
because like I was planning to go because I'm like, yo, it's Filoni, like that's the boy,
Oh yeah,
and I was like, nah, I'm just gonna record and walk the showroom floor because I didn't really know a whole lot about Tales of the Jedi, so I
same here.
skipped it. I didn't
Yeah,
realize you got to watch the first episode
yeah,
like 6-7 months early.
yeah, man. We saw. I mean, everybody has seen it by this point. So we
Yeah.
got shown the first episode, which is the baby Ahsoka episode. You know, with
Yep.
the tiger. Yeah,
Yeah.
we saw that whole thing. But it was also pretty cool because very much like yourself, the Tales of the Jedi that I know are like, you know, in the expanded universe. What is it? 4,000 years before the movies.
Yeah.
You know, Nomi Sunrider, Exar Kun, all of those guys, right? Like that's the
Hmm.
Tales of the Jedi. When you would tell me Tales of the Jedi, that's where my mind went to. So I was like, okay, this is not that, like for sure. Otherwise, we would have heard about it like before, right?
Yeah.
And so going into the panel, I was like, you know what? And I was kind of like the same way you were. I was like, it's probably like a book or something, or like, you know, like I didn't really know what to expect. But I was like, hey, it's Filoni. He's gonna be there, so I'll
Yep.
go in. And man, like I was blown away. Like when he started saying it's like, oh yeah, you know, this is like Clone Wars stuff, like Clone Wars
Mm.
style. But then covering some stuff, I was like, that's it, I'm sold. Like I don't even care what it is. Like I'm already in. And then he
Yeah.
shows us the concept art for the young Dooku. And
Woo.
man, like I lost it. Like I was like, okay, that's it. This thing's gonna be
Yeah.
awesome.